Welcome to Apokalypsis. This is a choose-your-own adventure set in a grim, dark fantasy world built with you, the viewer. Each video culminates in a choice, which is given to the patrons of the channel, allowing you to meaningfully impact the journey that we'll paint, animate, and narrate together. This story is not about an end. Truly, the word apocalypse means a revelation, a divine understanding leading to new perspectives. This story is one of finding hope and strength in the darkest and most hopeless of places. Together, we will uncover the revelations of an empire as it crumbles back to the land, and hear the stories of those who dwell within. These are the lands of Taigh. Many call these rain-soaked islands home, from humble deer and wolf to noble elf and man. As it is, the Empire of Eshen rules here, a kingdom of humankind that has spread to all corners of the continent. Though in forgotten fens and shadowy mountains, watching from afar, are more strange and dangerous beings who have learned to fear the might of humanity. More elusive still are those who silently weave the magic of ether, shaping the very mountains, unyielding to trifles such as empires. But ether is not the concern of common folk, and we begin our journey in their midst, in the highland settlement of Dunmore in the Mourne Mountains. These mountains of the north rise slowly from the undulating lowlands south to Caldera, gradually turning to rocky uplands and highland forests, eventually reaching up in grand snow-tipped peaks. The highlands are the grazing grounds for sheep and cattle, who feed on the rough brushy grasses and thick lichen. Their wardens, the Mourne shepherds, live here nomadically with their herds, as they follow the seasons north and south. Water is never scarce in Taigh. Here, it flows abundantly as crisp, clear glacial streams, converging at the vast lake of Loch Gwyn, and from there to rivers beyond. In the northern highlands off the road to Taigh Morn lies Dunmore, a small shepherding village. A dozen roundhouses topped with thatched grass make for humble but cosy board for the late summer months. As the winter draws closer, these homes are usually left for more southerly pastures, accommodating the stock of sheep that these folk care for. Burning pine logs fill the damp morning air with a heady mix of resin and dew, and within the houses the thick smoke stings the eyes as one enters. By this time of year, the village should be humming with preparations for the journey south, but it lies eerily still. Livestock are seemingly untended, wandering the roads freely, and the stench of rot tinges the pine smoke. A worrying shadow has settled over Dunmore with the finishing of summer. A sickness is lingering in many of its residents, and a large number of the sheep had to be culled to stymie the spread of pox. The abundance of meat, hide, and blood from the slaughter have turned rancid, as the folk are too sick to manage, and the road used by traders who would usually barter for such things lies silent. Whispers of doom are shared between shepherds as they hang off their crops. At the head of Dunmore is Elder Ivor's roundhouse, who lives there with his son Fergus. Both have managed to stay strong and healthy, working late each day to help their ailing kin. Tired as they are, the weight of this situation lurks in their minds. Preparations have to be made, to either leave for the Southlands or to weather the winter in Dunmore. The journey south to Yeobridge is long and arduous, but the winters here are unyieldingly cold, lasting months longer than they ought. With the health of their kin failing and crucial supplies running sparse, Ivor has arrived at a decision.
Don't treat me like an old man. I still have strength in me. If I go, what will become of the herd while you're taking care of everyone? What choice do we have, Fergus? You can stay and dig graves, or you can start for Taigh Morn tomorrow and give us all a chance.
Their discussion continued until Fergus had his charge. He was to set off in the morning to the city of Taigh Morn, 5 days' ride north. There he would enlist a cleric to return with him and provide healing, and to ward the village of whatever curse had befallen it. He would also visit with the traders to see what was the cause of their absence. He spent the evening preparing provisions, some black pudding, dried biscuits, and a flask of barley brie whiskey. A pack of his sundries, a knife, his crook, and a small hatchet was laid by the door, when Ivor called him over for one final word.
Here, Fergus. Those quiet roads worry me. You take something towards yourself. Your mother's old censer and rats are here if you care to read on the road. Or you can have my old steel. Whichever you prefer, I'll use what you leave.
Laid on the table was his mother's old brass censer, a small pouch of dried herbs, and a bound book of rituals. Next to that was a fine short sword with a small engraving of brambles on the crossguard. Fergus thought for a moment and chose. Hey, Eddie here. I'd like to thank you for watching the first episode of Apokalypsis. If you have any questions, ideas, or just thought my voice acting was awful, leave me a comment and I'll read and reply to them all. Leaving a like really helps me know if these videos are worth the weeks of time they take to draw, paint, and animate, so I appreciate each one. Hitting subscribe is even better. If you want to participate and get behind the scenes content like unreleased artwork and lore, then my Patreon is available in the description. I have a free tier available for onlookers to keep updated too. Thanks for watching.